I think there's a really big philosophy within Laya Healthcare to driving internal promotion. There's a lot of team leaders, managers and senior people in the business who have worked their way up. So it's something that comes naturally with the culture of Laya Healthcare. I myself started for 6 months when I finished my degree in college on the telephones in terms of answering sales calls and customer queries, and then I moved into marketing, and I fully believe that this has stood to me to this day in terms of making sure that I really understood what the customer was looking for and how difficult the role is for somebody in customer service to make sure that they answer those queries really, really well. So in terms of making sure that my marketing team can progress and be promoted, I think the first thing as their manager I need to be is very honest with them. So I have to praise their strengths and compliment them on it. And everybody, like myself, has weaknesses, so it's making sure that they're aware of those and working through them with them and spending time really working on them in order to make people grow. I think that's really important, to be honest, and upfront with your team. I think passion goes an awful long way in a marketing team as well. Someone who has passion and drive for doing the right thing is very important. I also believe you need to empower your team. So yeah, they're absolutely going to make mistakes along the way. It's not the end of the world. It's all part of the learning. So I think empowering them in order to grow and develop is vital. And anyone who really wants to do something that little bit differently and has a little bit of a creative spark to really drive a benefit for the customer, I think that has to be achieved and recognised. I think the most important thing for me is integration. So in terms of making sure that our above the line, below the line and digital strategies are fully integrated is really, really important, regardless of whether the campaign is big or small. So that's driven through really strong internal communications amongst all my team members and making sure that we've really strong communications with our advertising agency as well to make sure that we do that. I suppose we very much look at each channel differently, so each of them will have their own strategy as well. So for digital, for example, it's not traditionally used for brand building, although we do use it a little bit for that, but we usually use it for call to action, while we have a full media campaign then behind TV, and that's usually driven to build brand, but also to drive key KPIs for the business, such as getting sales calls into the business or driving more people to our website. But the key thing is about integrating all of them together to make sure that they work as effectively as possible. I'm very lucky. I have a very, very strong marketing team around me, and for me it's all about everybody rolling up the sleeves, titles go out the window and everybody just gets involved and everybody helps each other out. And I really think camaraderie in the team is really, really important, and having a little bit of fun along the way. You know, it's a very busy role for everybody, so if you can have a little bit of fun along the way, I think it's key. The big thing for me is trying to keep focused on the business strategy as well. So making sure every individual knows what their KPIs are and making sure that we keep our campaigns aligned to the business strategy. It just helps you keep focused, really. And at the heart of everything we do is always the customer. So as a marketing team, we always try and step in the shoes of the customer. And innovation is absolutely vital. I really believe that as a marketing team, if we're not driving innovation and driving the customer agenda, we're doing a disservice to the business. I have 9 people on the marketing team. There's myself as head of marketing, and we have our marketing manager, and then we have our brand managers over 4 different disciplines, and they're supported by some marketing assistants and marketing executives. So we have our advertising pillar, as we call it, and that looks after all of the advertising, and it looks after the sales team and the corporate sales team, so the phone calls that come into the business and the corporate sales calls and all of the proposals that go out to those corporate people. And the second person then looks after our PR and our communications, so that includes internal communications as well as looking after all of our literature. Our third brand manager looks after digital, so our Facebook and Twitter and the website, and really driving the analytics to drive the business forward, and educating the internal team as well on the advantages of digital and how it can really help the business. And then our fourth person, our fourth brand manager, then looks after all of our research, supports product development and new innovations, and also looks after an awful lot of sponsorship and key events for us. So they're a very busy team, but they're more than willing to do it all with a big smile on their face, which is fantastic. Yeah, I think this is interesting. I do believe that everybody knows that digital is important, and I think people are fully focused on that now. So I think there might be challenges down the line for people to have real experience in terms of brand building, because digital is so measured, and brand building is that little bit different. And I think there's a difficulty with the two working together. So I do think that brand building experience and education might be difficult to find in the future. So it's marrying the two, I think, is important. I also believe that innovation is absolutely vital, and people really striving to do things differently, and that's where marketeers need to go. And marketing to the bottom line, I think, is absolutely vital. In order to make sure that marketing is credible, we need to be talking to the statistics of the business, and we need to make sure that everything we do is delivering bottom line value whilst keeping the customer agenda really, really strong.